He said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and my people wouldn't give a shit. He actually is an adjudicated rapist on Fifth Avenue. A court of competent jurisdiction, a judge said by any common definition of the word, you raped that woman.
This is the dressing room one?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that may have happened, but I mean...
But a jury in a court said it did.
That fucking means nothing to me, because I know what they know, which is nothing.
Bill Maher brought on this woke idiot James Carville onto his show, and I know that you've seen a clip or two from this already, but I doubt you have seen this one. This one is absolutely insane, between this exchange between James Carville and Bill Maher here on Bill Maher's podcast, the Club Random Podcast. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher is forced to destroy this woke idiot on Bill Maher's own show for these just absolutely unhinged woke takes.
I don't understand that.
I don't know either.
I just wish people could, get over themselves a little bit about like who they won't fucking mingle with. Mingle.
This is so
right.
Right. It's so
mingle.
But it's now become everything is a purity test, and that's what
I'm saying.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I don't like it.
I did an editorial once where you and Mary were in it and I quoted the thing about you getting married on Thanksgiving because it was one of these pleas I've done to like, look, the people who you don't completely agree with are not the enemy. You know, the three most important words in a relationship are not "I love you," they're "let it go." Right? Let it go. And I think, and it was a very sweet thing we said about you and Mary, and I think we quoted her as saying, yeah, our idea of fun, like, isn't to argue about the earned income tax credit or something. Like, you just don't waste your time, right? You don't waste your time. Here's a key to a relationship. Kids, don't go there if you know that's not a place where if you do go, you're going to have a good time, right? Isn't that a lot of it?
I stuck my finger in that socket. About the fifth time, I said, I'm just not going to stick my finger in it. I'm a slow learner.
Well, right? I would say at our age, the key, for me anyway, I'm not going to speak for you, but the key components that I really treasure are acceptance and comfort. Like when I was 21, I backpacked in Europe and stayed in hostels. I was okay at 21. I couldn't do it now. And acceptance, just like, accept. Yeah, we're not going to agree on everything. No. And it's okay. Everybody just has such a fucking bad attitude.
But, so many people think that they're defined by their politics.
Right.
And
so true.
Politics is part of my definition. And look, if you're like a racist, we're not going to get along very well.
No.
And
of course.
That's not politics, though, is it? Like, that's the problem with these people like James Carville and the left, is that they've now associated certain political affiliations with you being like an actual bad person. Like, James Carville is like, well, yeah, I obviously disagree that, if you're a right winger, that the left winger should not, shun you from Thanksgiving dinner. But like, he also at the same time thinks that right wingers are all racist. So he's like, well, if there's a racist, then obviously I'm not going to be friends with them. That has nothing to do with politics, though. Just because you're a right winger doesn't mean you're a racist. Just like if you're a left winger doesn't mean you are transsexual, I think is the proper term. So yeah, doesn't mean that you are transsexual. Transgender, that's the right term. Yep. Doesn't mean that you're transgender. I have to watch what I say, guys. Things are considered slurs nowadays, and I don't want to play in James Carville stereotype of everybody on the right wing being a bad person. But anyway, that's the problem, right? It's like, it's not that people are like, oh, you're a right winger, so therefore you are against intervening in foreign wars. I don't want to have Thanksgiving dinner with you. It's like, no, what right wingers have become synonymous with is, not liking trans people and racism and bigotry and homophobia. Like, that's what they think right wingers are, which some of those things, for sure, some of those things might not be the worst thing in the world, but regardless, that is not politics. That is culture war stuff. It's not politics.
If I see you, I'll tell you hello, but I really don't. I'm not interested in developing the right. But if you think differently than I do, or you have a different view, of course, living where I live, I probably run into more in a social life as many Republicans as Democrats.
Of course.
If you live out here, you don't.
It's amazing the way the sex scandal, you know.
Well, Trump just blew past. He just
Right.
the one thing that we'll have to say about him is he said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and my people wouldn't give a shit. He actually is an adjudicated rapist on Fifth Avenue. A court of competent jurisdiction, a judge said by any common definition of the word rape, you raped that woman.
This is the dressing room one?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that may have happened, but I mean,
But a jury in a court said it did.
That fucking means nothing to me because I know what they know, which is nothing. They know two people said two different things about something that happened in the 90s and of which there's no witnesses or tape.
Well, you know
so
what?
I can't, look, I hate Donald Trump as much as anybody, but I can't say for sure I just know that. Just because 9 people said they think that, I can't.
First of all,
but yes,
they had.
You see how frustrated he is? He's like, come on, Bill Maher. The court and the jury said it, and it goes in my favor, so why don't you just believe it blindly like I do, guy? It goes in our favor. You gotta just believe it blindly. The court and the jury said it. It goes in the left wing's favor. Let's just believe it blindly. But obviously, it doesn't matter. You know, people, and it shocked me. I'm not gonna lie, it did shock me. I didn't think Donald Trump would win 24 because I didn't think people would be awake enough to understand that they're lying about him and they're trying to throw him in jail for things that he didn't do. But they are awake. People have woken up a whole lot more than I thought. More than half the country, well, let's say a higher percentage of people voted for Donald Trump than voted for Kamala Harris, even in the popular vote. Obviously, it's not more than half the country because there's other candidates that are not Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. And I know that people are going to bring up the technicality, so you gotta say that. But more people voted for Trump than Kamala Harris, which hasn't happened in a very long time. And so that's proof to me that people are actually waking up, which is shocking to me. I didn't think that was the case. I didn't think Donald Trump would win. Very glad that he did. But people are waking up to the nonsense. People are waking up to the lies, and it's cool to see.
More evidence. In other words,
did?
yes. So she told me
what was
this
the
happened.
What was the evidence?
Other people that she told contemporaneous with it.
Well,
which
you
is
know,
whatever. A jury said that, that he
you know
did.
what? You know more about this case than apparently I do, and maybe if I knew everything, I would be completely.
I know that a jury.
Yeah.
I tend to have more faith in those people. In juries, I think most of them really try to weigh what's there. And I do know that a jury, but now I get too technical here, but by a preponderance of the evidence,
Right.
It's a little bit of a different standard in a criminal case. It's beyond a reasonable doubt.
I'm admitting I don't. I didn't know that there was like evidence. I just thought it was he said, she said. So okay, so but like the way he has been able to have the hush money, he's got a porn star, a rape. I grab pussies. Like when you're a celebrity, they let you.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Do it. There is a genius to his madness, and the thing I always say about Trump, you have to remember, he's stupid and crazy, and they're two completely different things. And this is like the crazy part works for him because he's without a mechanism to edit or to pull back. So, you know, as my friend Jimmy always says, insanity photographs. You can't take your eyes off him. Obviously, whenever they put him on TV, the ratings go through the roof. And that's why insane people are charismatic. You can't look away. So when he does all this, I mean, not just sexual stuff, but certainly the sexual stuff, it's like, I'm going to own. No one else in the world would even think of this as a strategy. And he has no strategy. It's just what he feels. He's all id. But to own that, to own being this kind of guy, and half the country likes it. Or at least it's not a deal breaker because they feel like it's honest.
At least he's honest. He says what he thinks.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to.
I think it's yes, it definitely is about him being honest and about him being a real person. I think it's a lot more about the other side being so dishonest and just being horrible for the country at the same time. So dishonest that they're trying to throw their political opponent in jail. So dishonest that they're trying to take him out literally, and also just running the country into the absolute ground in order for them to gain more power. And they were hoping to win future elections because of it, with letting in all the illegals, trying to get them to be able to vote with no voter ID. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Bill Maher having to shut down James Carville for those ridiculously woke takes about Donald Trump. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole James Carville versus Bill Maher situation.